Paper was like gold in medieval times.
Oh, not tobacco. Sugar.
That everything we thought we knew about the world might turn out to be completely wrong.
All across Britain, people are keeping a shocking secret.
This was my study.
And their numbers are growing.
This is what it feels like inside my head.
Over 1 million people are now living amongst mountains of clutter and rubbish.
What's in here?
There's probably a couple of dead rats in there, but, you know, at the end of the day, it's a functionable kitchen.
And when a hoard takes over,
Please leave me alone! Oh, I can't cope.
it can affect everyone who lies in its path.
I don't know how you can live like this. It's just crazy.
One-way traffic.
Psychotherapist Stelios Kiosses has treated hundreds of hoarders over the last 17 years.
What do you do with the food that's out of date?
Eat it.
It's dangerous. Compulsive hoarding does not discriminate. It can happen to anyone.
I'm king of the mountain of newspapers.
Together with a team of professional declutterers,
we leave no stone unturned.
Stelios believes he can kickstart the process of decluttering their homes.
It's very difficult for her. You can see the attachment.
I want to change so much.
You know, this has become your armour, so nobody can hurt you again. But we're going to change that.
And extreme hoarders are not alone.
The Disney collecting will never stop until she's in the ground.
When a collector's passion starts to overtake their home,
I think now's the time that he needs to stop because we're running out of room.
Stop.
Yes, stop collecting.
then it's time to get practical help. Tonight, can Stelios help Michelle, whose extreme hoard is putting her home and her marriage at risk?
I feel scared right now to take it away. It's my blanket.
And can collector Carl reclaim some living space before it's too late?
I am very protective over my collection because it's part of me.
The green fields of Kent are known as the Garden of England. And 50-year-old Michelle's unusual family can't get enough of its abundant fresh produce.
Hello.
What are you after, Miller? Some greens?
Yeah, I'm going to get some celery for Joe because he absolutely loves celery and I know he'll eat all of that, so that's good. I usually get carrots because Amy and Mia are really carrot crazy. That's a lovely cos. Heath will like that. Heath's a bit of a cos man. What's Mummy got?
Back home, Michelle's brood are about to get stuck into their 5 a day.
No, Sasha, this is for Digby. We have 31 rabbits, 5 guinea pigs, 2 dogs, 1 cat and 2 chickens.
Michelle's menagerie has taken over her suburban garden. It's now crammed with animals and 23 separate hutches.
I love the smell of them. Ooh.
Michelle's husband, Andrew, has endured her animal hoarding for 15 years.
This is Grace, one of our oldest rabbits. You're an old girl, aren't you now? It's not just a rabbit to me, or a guinea pig, or a dog, or a cat. They're very much part of my life, and because we don't have children, they're a substitute in a way.
But now Andrew feels trapped by Michelle's pet obsession.
Yummy.
I used to have some say in the amount of animals that came in. Michelle would always ask my permission, but over the last 2 or 3 years, animals have just been smuggled in, and I'm left with a sort of fait accompli, really.
Come on in.
Life for the couple is now a continuous cycle of feeding and mucking out.
I'm not supposed to be taking any more in. I shouldn't be saying yes. I'm not in a position to say yes. Oh, too late. We aren't replacing them if they die. So, you know, the numbers will diminish.
Darling, sorry to interrupt you, but you just got a new guinea pig and 2 chickens.
If living with so many animals wasn't hard enough, Andrew also has to contend with what's indoors. Michelle's excessive hoarding has overtaken their home. It's rammed full of clutter, piled up with clothes, toys, magazines, pictures, and of course, rabbits. Things are now so bad, the couple are reduced to eating their meals in the bedroom.
I find it very difficult to part with anything, even if I don't like it. If somebody gave it to me, I do find that hard because of the sentimental value.
If it was left to me, I would just put everything into bags and take it down to the tip. But I know some of these things that Michelle has got are precious to her. So I can't move forward because I need her to make a decision on what she's willing to let go.
This is stuff that I need.
But Michelle's compulsion to hoard isn't just getting in the way, it's also breaking the bank. 9 months ago, Michelle and Andrew were made redundant, and money's tight.
And when you're spending nearly £100 on feed and hay, everything else that's needed for the animals' upkeep, that leaves you very little to live on yourselves.
This is curly kale from Waitrose. They're going to have some of that.
Michelle's hoarding is now so bad, it's threatening her marriage.
It's just not the life, and not the life that I thought I was going to be living, and not one that I really want to continue to live in.
I do feel genuinely scared that he could wake up one day and just say, I've had enough, and go, and that would devastate me.
Psychotherapist Stelios Kiosses believes a hoarder's house is a reflection of their mind.
One of the things I'm looking for in most hoarders' houses is a particular item or particular items that they feel more attached to, and that could be quite significant in terms of therapy and in terms of uncovering what's underneath those emotions.
With just 6 weeks of treatment, Stelios aims to help cure their compulsion. In a last bid to overcome her hoarding and save her marriage, Michelle's asked for his expert help.
Hello.
Hi, Michelle. Hello. Hi, I'm Stelios.
Nice to
Hello,
meet
nice
you.
to meet you. Can I come in?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Welcome to the funny farm.
Thank you. Wow.
Yeah.
It's like you walk in another world.
Shantytown.
Shantytown, yeah. Wow. How long have you been collecting?
Probably about 15 years now.
15 years.
Yeah. I don't really call it collecting.
What do you call it?
Rescuing.
Rescuing. All right,
Yes.
so the rescue rabbits.
Yes.
Okay.
To help Michelle, Stelios wants to find out how attached she is to her animals. But it's not just live ones Michelle is clinging on to.
This is Dumby.
Oh,
For the last 3 weeks, she's been keeping a dead rabbit in the freezer.
he's lovely, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. That's my boy.
How does it feel? What you're doing now?
I love him. I love him and I miss him and I want him back. I just want him back.
And why have you not buried him yet?
I don't want to part with him.
Definitely, Michelle, has the characteristics of all animal hoarders. They can't say no to having animals and they can't part with them. And even if they do, in their minds, they've never let go fully. Wow, I've lost count.
Well, that's not all of them,
Really?
Stelios, no.
Stelios believes that compulsive hoarding is usually triggered by trauma or loss. Michelle's animal hoarding began following the death of her mother.
She ill?
No, she was actually murdered. She was living in America at the time and her boyfriend killed her and then he shot himself.
My
so they
goodness.
both died, yeah. And I just felt it was such a waste of a life. This is the lounge here, which we haven't sat in for a long time.
What's the stuff in here then? What?
I'm not sure really.
It is quite overwhelming, isn't it? Feels like a garage.
This is where we job search.
More bags?
Just a few.
Stelios' tour of the house reveals the scale of the problem.
Of course, the contradiction for me is that none of your rabbits' cages are cluttered, but your house is.
Yeah.
You know, it's like me saying, oh, I'm going to put 20 bottles of, I don't know, detergents and boxes in one of your rabbit's cages. The rabbit won't be able to move, it will start suffering. But we won't do that because we don't want the rabbit to suffer,
No.
but then you do it to yourself.
Yes.
You know,
Which is
you
bizarre.
are the bunny in this house and you haven't got any room
That's
to move.
really interesting, actually. I didn't even think of that.
Like most hoarders, Michelle's obsession has been taken to extremes. She's even kept a last memento of Dumbledore.
This is what I've kept from
Dumbledore?
Dumby, yeah. And,
Oh, wow.
yes, that's a piece of his fur and his last poo. Which is probably quite odd.
Seeing this, Stelios decides to set Michelle some homework.
So maybe burying your beloved Dumbledore would be good. It's about letting go of what you can't have anymore. It's about celebrating Dumbledore's life, but also accepting that he's dead and he's not with us anymore. This is it now, it's over. It's closure.
Michelle's emotional attachment to her animals has led to a compulsion to acquire an unhealthy hoard. But there's another group of people also engaged in the endless pursuit of more things: collectors.
Like hoarders, collectors tend to amass large quantity of stuff. There is even an emotional attachment to the things they collect.
Unlike hoarders, collectors don't acquire random clutter and take pride in their collections. But when a beloved collection becomes so vast that it starts to affect everyday life, it could be time to get practical help. In Sussex, obsessive collectors Carl and Gemma have turned their home into a shrine to their collections. Volunteer worker Carl collects Buddhist arts and crafts.
Collecting Buddhist for me is very important. On the last count, everything, about 3,500 pieces. That's a prayer wheel. I just love the image. Well, they make me feel peaceful. They imbue a feeling of serenity and peace.
I sometimes think they take up a little bit too much room because there's an awful lot of them.
Honours student Gemma is a collector too. She can't resist anything to do with an overexcitable yellow cartoon character.
I call this room the Kingdom of SpongeBob. This is the main bulk of where my SpongeBob collection is. SpongeBob SquarePants is a children's cartoon character. I love him so much, I think, because he cheers me up. He has so many sort of human qualities that I really, really admire. I do, seriously. I mean, when he's happy, he never tries to pretend to be anything other than what he is. When he's happy, he's happy.
Carl and Gemma's home has been overwhelmed by their collections, and now Gemma wants space to call her own.
Before I met Carl, I was sort of quite minimalistic. I didn't have very many possessions, and it's taken me quite a long time to get used to being surrounded by so much stuff. It can make me a bit frustrated because I like a lot of floor space and I like to be able to move around and I like a lot of light.
Gemma has realised she really needs a place to study, free of clutter and distractions.
I find it very difficult to get focused with study if I've got loads of clutter and things around me. I like it to be ordered and tidy.
Carl and Gemma have accepted that they need help from the experts.
I suspect that when the decluttering ladies come round, they're going to have more of a problem with Carl than they are with me. I think he's going to be less likely to want to sort of let things go.
Depends how it's done. As long as they don't touch any of the collections, then that shouldn't be a problem.
Animal hoarder Michelle's home is overrun with clutter and animals, and her hoarding is threatening her marriage.
There he is, our boy.
A week ago, psychotherapist Stelios Kiosses challenged her to say goodbye to her favourite rabbit. And today, she's preparing to let him go.
I'll put a little carrot in for him. And a bit of kale. He loved kale.
One of the important elements that I would like to see Michelle achieve is the letting go. The letting go of some of her animals, the letting go of the clutter, the letting go of the attachment she has to the things that keep her down.
Dumbledore died 4 weeks ago, but is Michelle ready to start the process of moving on from her hoard?
I don't want to get rid of anything. And it's just that realisation that time's going to come and I have to do something serious about it.
Goodbye, Dums. Love you.
This is my box.
With Dumbledore laid to rest, Stelios believes Michelle is ready for her next homework assignment.
I would have to have my mum's dressing gown.
He wants her to pick items from her hoard that make her feel safe, and also those that make her feel unsafe.
The stuff that she will relate to as being safe is her true self, and the stuff that she relates as being unsafe is her fearful self.
William makes me feel safe.
Which will make it more powerful for her to visually see it and deal with it.
That could go in the unsafe box.
But Michelle's finding it stressful just being in the living room, even before she starts Stelios' homework.
Yeah, I feel very claustrophobic in here. It feels like it's all closing in on me. I feel imprisoned in this room, as if I don't get out quickly, I won't be able to get out. I feel like I could be stuck in here forever. It represents my head. This is what it feels like inside my head.
The anxiety of letting things go can affect us all. Back on the Sussex coast, Carl and Gemma's obsessive collecting is causing tension.
I do find the sheer volume of things that are in the flat quite oppressive because there's just so much of it.
The only thing I'll change about my collection is making it bigger.
Professional declutterers Alison Pritchard and Zoe Steele have helped clear up hundreds of homes.
Hello. My gosh. Hi, Zoe. Hi, Gemma. I'm Alison. Hi, Alison.
We all have collections, and there's quite a lot of people out there that they lose touch with things. It gets out of control, but they still continue to buy, and we see that so much, don't we? So this is your lounge.
Yeah, all the entertaining happens in here.
Well, I can see an awful lot of wall space covered.
Yeah, a lot of wall space is covered.
And that's, you're happy with that? How did you see it, Gemma?
I almost feel as though there's a wee bit too much, and there are so many beautiful things in here, and sometimes I feel that I can't see the wood for the trees.
This is the bedroom.
Oh, gosh. They're everywhere. Oh, so this is the Hindu room?
Yeah.
Collections are great and they're wonderful. We want to celebrate collections. They're healthy. But when you start losing the purpose of individual rooms, when you need them for eating or sleeping, then you know there is an issue.
And this is my room, the kingdom of SpongeBob.
But your collection is somewhat smaller than Carl's.
Is his room actually Buddha-free?
No, there is a Buddha. There is a Buddha on the window ledge.
Oh, see, you've moved in here.
That's Gemma's.
It's like a museum.
Zoe and Alison's inspection is starting to make Carl feel anxious about what lies ahead.
But where my feelings are concerned, I won't know until it's actually done or finished. And then I'll see how I react to it.
Gemma, look forward to seeing you in a few days. I think it's a truly amazing house. I think the collection is wonderful. They're a really great couple. But I think we need to gain his trust. Alison will keep him calm, and I'll try and do the friendly pushing, and that's how it's going to work. So he's got two of us to battle with, but in the nicest possible way.
Doing battle with hoarders' minds is psychotherapist Stelios' speciality.
Hello, I'm back.
2 weeks into Michelle's therapy, he's back to see what possessions she associates with her safe and unsafe feelings.
Part of the homework was to segregate the safe and unsafe things that Michelle is feeling at the moment. But it will give me a good idea of understanding what safe areas represent in her life at the moment and the unsafe areas.
And that's my safe box.
Okay, and whether we can increase the safe ones. And if the session's successful, we can start the process of decluttering. Not just the emotional decluttering, but also the physical decluttering. Maybe with a just very simple exercise to start with. So let's have a look at what's unsafe.
Unsafe.
Unsafe. That's unsafe?
That's it. Oh, you thought that was the unsafe box?
Tell me what's unsafe there.
I've got unhappy memories associated to it. I was married, living in Italy. It didn't work out.
With this?
Not the man on there, no. If it was him, I'd still be there.
Okay, let's look at the safe.
This is full of just...
I guess it looks all cuddly toys.
Yeah. This is William. He feels like a baby.
You're holding it like a baby.
Yeah, it's like the size of a baby. So I could never part with William.
No.
Put him somewhere clean, please, darling. This is Rebecca, and this is Bracken. And that's
So
not
why are they
working.
safe?
Because of the love I feel from them. Anything that's a mole, I can't part with. This is Stefan, who my friend Stephen bought me.
Stelios immediately picks up on Michelle's childlike attachment to cuddly toys.
Why is there nothing in the box from any human? Don't humans make you feel safe?
No.
People?
No.
What is it about people?
They lie. They betray you. They use you. I hadn't made that.
Connection.
No.
Yes, true.
It's nothing at all.
So completely
Yeah, you
blocked out
completely
the human
blocked.
being.
Yeah, which usually means you're so traumatized by humans. You know, you've displaced your trust to animals and things, because people, can hurt you, but animals can't really.
No.
For me, it's fascinating, really.
Well, I'm pretty fascinated as well. Don't put William face down, love. He won't be able to breathe.
Carl and Gemma's collection is threatening to take over their house, but their compulsion to acquire is as strong as ever.
Sponges. Carl, SpongeBob stickers.
Their local car boot fair is a regular haunt. They never miss a Sunday.
Yeah, how much is the... Yeah, cool.
Excellent. Carl is the bigger collector. There's absolutely no doubt about that. I couldn't possibly compete in any way. The man is amazing. He can spot a Buddha a mile off.
Collecting is like an addiction. Yes, you do get a buzz because you've acquired something new. Does that buzz last? No.
How much, mate? Well, I won't argue with that.
He does have a habit, perhaps, of buying more than he lets on.
As far as I'm aware.
I think you may have done.
Oh, OK.
Where are you going to put it, lovey?
I ain't got a clue, but I might have when I get home. I don't worry about that until I get home.
Oh, dear. Oh.
Back in Kent, Michelle is also still adding to her hoard. She's just returned from a local charity event where she couldn't resist buying anything to do with animals.
This is an original watercolour. So that's me listening to Stelios and not bringing anything else in the house.
I knew as soon as she went that she'd come back with something, so...
Well, he's lucky I didn't come back with another animal, because it's last chance animal rescue. I could have come back with a rabbit or something.
The couple are both unemployed, so Michelle's latest spending spree threatens to push them further into financial trouble.
I thought she probably spent about £50 or £60, but having looked at my online banking, I see the debit's gone through for £101. That's £101 that, could feed us for 2 weeks. I should be angry, but, Michelle needs support. What she's suffering from is a mental disorder. I just have to bite my lip, keep calm, and just help her as much as I can.
That looks better. I think you're supposed to put cotton wool in there. What a fabulous idea. I love it. This is Seamus, who is blind in one eye.
Animal hoarder Michelle has discovered she's compelled to rescue animals.
Good boy, Seamus.
Because she's had such a bad experience with people. But she's going to have to choose between her marriage and her pets. At this critical stage in her treatment, Stelios has asked Michelle to come to Birmingham for a cognitive therapy session, which he hopes will help her to move on from traumatic events in her past.
Hello. Hi, Stelios.
They are joined by psychotherapist Manjit Ubi.
Hello, Manjit. Lovely to meet you.
Have a seat.
EMDR therapy helps with the reprocessing and letting go of painful memories, something that normally happens when we're asleep.
There's a strong link between compulsive hoarding and unprocessed trauma. That Michelle has been suffering from trauma for a long time now. Hopefully today's session will bring some closure.
Manjit asks Michelle to list every traumatic event that's ever happened to her.
Losing my job.
OK.
And then prior to that, we had a court case where we lost a lot of money.
What happened before?
Another redundancy. Financially, the pressure has just got worse and worse. When the sessions started, I was quite worried about what was going to be asked of me because there were experiences that I just didn't want to remember. Prior to that, my mother died. I was married and lost a baby, had a miscarriage. That marriage broke up.
Michelle has such a great need to be a rescuer of animals because it's something she always wanted, it's something she always needed to be rescued.
I was thrown out of my mother's house at the age of 13. I lost everything that day. My school, my home, my pony, my dog. We've run out of room. Have you?
Yeah. If you sit on the one over
Manjit wants Michelle to recall a recent trauma. 6 months ago, Andrew collapsed in front of her in the lounge.
So I want you to just look straight ahead. Can you see that as a still picture, that event?
Yes.
Okay, tell me what you can see. Describe it to me.
Him on the floor and he's fallen on the coffee table.
Our brain processes events while we sleep, but sometimes when we have a traumatic experience, it can get blocked and stuck.
So what I want you to do is I want you to look straight ahead, follow my hand, and let your mind go where it wants to go.
What Manjit is doing at the moment is recreating rapid eye movement we experience when we are asleep to help Michelle reprocess those traumas and help her come to terms with them.
What do you see right now?
The lounge is fading.
Okay.
Can't really see anything.
Okay.
Actually. Okay. I'm forcing myself to think about the lounge.
Okay.
I'm feeling very good. All the anxiety that I normally feel on a daily basis has just evaporated.
Well done. Have a safe journey.
I will.
Yeah.
Stelios hopes that Michelle will have gained the strength she needs to declutter and say goodbye to her animals. Back on the Sussex coast, Gemma wants to reclaim some living space from partner Carl's Buddha collection.
Hi there, good morning. And how are you both today? Okay, thank you.
Declutterers Zoe and Alison have returned, hoping they can persuade the two collectors to make some tough decisions.
I love the T-shirt, Gemma.
Thank you. I'm all SpongeBob.
Yes, you are. So, let's get started. Let's try and get in here. There's a little room at the top of the house which we are going to declutter and transform that into a study area for Gemma so that she's got a tranquil area to be able to use while she's studying.
Gemma is tackling her SpongeBob collection.
What to do with my SpongeBob pens? They would be very distracting. Oh, I will think about that. I'll put those in there and think about that.
OK, let's pass out some of those pictures next.
While Gemma ponders...
Right, Carl. Yes. Now we're down into the lounge.
They try and tackle the tougher job of Carl and his vast Buddha collection.
I'm going to clear this table.
OK.
Then I'm going to leave it with you to decide which Buddhas you're going to release upstairs.
OK.
OK? Does that sound good?
So far.
The Buddhas, I think, are a real no-no. I think Alison and Zoe might have a real challenge on their hands.
Carl's collection is out of control. I think Carl's blind to it. Carl loves it so much that he's totally swallowed up in it. Poor old Gemma, she actually does find that it's invading her space. It's oppressive. He's absorbed by it and he doesn't see it, so he's completely out of touch. So where next would you take some from if you had to?
I am very protective over my collection because it's part of me. You know, I collect what I love because it resonates with me inside.
Carl has reluctantly agreed to remove some of his Buddhas from the lounge, but only on one condition, that he can display them upstairs instead.
It can be very intrusive when people start changing stuff around.
We've still got to move more, haven't we, Carl? Really, we have.
Although Carl has only made a small dent in his Buddha collection, Gemma is happy with the results.
I like it. I do like it. I think it's much better. I like it.
To the untrained eye, it's hard to see much difference. But upstairs...
I think we can lose the zippies. I think we can.
There has been major progress. Gemma's put the majority of her SpongeBobs into storage, and with Alison and Zoe's help, the spare room has been transformed. It may seem like only a minor victory, but Gemma now has a tranquil place to study.
I'm amazed. It's so clear and it's so clean. I'm, really shocked actually. I can't believe how much stuff was in here and how much less there is in here now. It's really incredible.
Now it's all just here for the purpose that the room is for studying.
Yes. SpongeBob free.
Yes, I'm looking just to check there isn't any.
Distraction free, yeah.
That's nice. Give Gemma a week and there'll be a SpongeBob in it.
Give you 5 minutes and there'll be a Buddha in here.
In Kent, animal hoarder Michelle is nearing the end of her 6 weeks of therapy. Before she attempts to declutter, Stelios wants Michelle and husband Andrew to understand how vital this final step is to the future of their relationship.
So how difficult has it been for you with the compulsive hoarding? How has it affected you?
I just ignore it, I think, which is the only way I can deal with it. So I don't actually see what's there anymore. I just focus on the little bit of space that I've got, really.
Have you explained to Michelle how you feel? Have you expressed how you feel?
Well, I'm not a great communicator as far as Michelle is concerned.
Why?
I don't know.
What do you...
I'm afraid of her reaction, I think, a lot of the time.
Okay.
I think sometimes she thinks because I'm so calm I don't care. That can make her annoyed.
Is that true?
It's not he's so calm, he doesn't say anything, so you're left to determine yourself what that silence means. And it's easy if somebody doesn't say anything to assume, well, they just don't care.
So you're afraid to say something in case you reject it?
Yeah.
You feel because he's not saying anything, he doesn't care? I think the dogs communicate better. Seriously.
It's a marriage made in heaven.
So this is why it's even more important that we start decluttering, so you can both create this space where you can come and communicate. There's nowhere to communicate. Where can you go and sit? There's no living room, there's no study, there's nothing. Actually, there's more space living in your garden than it is living in your home. So saving your relationship, saving the house, is creating a space.
Stelios believes Michelle may now be ready to let go of some of her hoard. The first step is to attempt to declutter the house. Stelios has called in the experts. The declutterers will help Michelle every step of the way.
We need some bags.
And this.
The bags at the back?
Okay.
Michelle, however, isn't sure she's ready.
I think I'm going to cry, actually. I feel really upset. I don't know. I don't know. I want to change so much. But I feel scared right now. To take it away, it's my blanket, it's my security. It sort of makes me feel like I'll be left naked.
Hello.
But they're not.
Recognising that the lounge may be too much of a challenge, Zoe and Alison start with the kitchen. The first small step is for Michelle to separate the junk from items with real sentimental value.
Picture of my mum. How glamorous she was. Look, there's me. I was probably about 12, 11. Looked like a little boy. They'll have to go in the memory box. Rabbit fur. Humbug was a rabbit that we were given, and he went in for routine teeth filing, and he never came out. He died under anaesthetic. I'm going to put that in the animal box.
Okay.
Michelle's making a good start, and she credits much of it to her time with Stelios.
I just think he's lovely. I love his accent. He's got bunny rabbit teeth. These two here.
Is he?
Yeah, he looks like a bunny rabbit.
Is that... I'm going to have a look next time.
Which is a huge, huge attraction.
Despite the progress, Michelle's insisting on checking everything that leaves the house.
This is all fine? Are you sure it's empty?
She's finding it particularly hard to part with anything that's cute and fluffy.
I think Piggy's had it.
So what have we got there then, darling?
Well, they're toys, which I'm very fond of, but they're Darcy's.
Darcy's got a lot of toys.
No, no.
Does Darcy play with all these toys?
No, I should probably get rid of some.
So what about that one?
No, that's her
Is that
pole.
favourite?
That one can't go.
Right, so shall we part with that one? No, not sure.
That looks like Sasha, though. She likes that. OK, they can go. They can go. I can't see those toys in that bag. You'll have to take it away.
But just as Michelle's making headway, disaster strikes.
Christ.
After only half a day of decluttering, one of Michelle's rabbits, Luana, has fallen sick. Her anxiety levels have rocketed.
She didn't ask to be born. And she can't even see.
The decluttering has ground to a halt.
It is a real shame that we've had to suddenly stop, but under the circumstances, there would be no real gain of carrying on now.
The rabbits are like her family, so understandably she's going to feel upset and she wants to do the best for her animals, and we both understand that.
I'm trying to think about all Stelios has taught me so far, because at the end of the day she's a rabbit, but that doesn't stop me feeling what I feel, and I love her. I love her like I'd love a child.
If one sick rabbit has so easily blown Michelle off course, how will she ever be able to face the prospect of letting the others go?
Right, Michelle, I think we need to get some light in here, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Michelle is in the final stage of her 6 weeks of hoarding therapy. Midway through her declutter, one of her rabbits has become ill, stopping Michelle in her tracks. Alison and Zoe have returned to continue with the decluttering.
So we'll start with this section. Bags. These are bags.
While Michelle tends to her sick rabbit.
Really? And she's got some nice organic rocket.
We need to treat Michelle with kid gloves at the moment because she just needs a little bit more time to focus on the things that she's going to keep and lose, because it's much harder now for her to make that decision because her mind's all over the place.
And this paper.
As Zoe and Alison tackle the lounge, they find items that prove a useful distraction.
That's when I had my pony. I was at the height of happiness then, and probably shortly after that I lost everything. And I think that's why I've got the animals now. I've just recreated the stables. That has to go in the treasure box.
Yes, OK, we'll do that then. So this is Michelle's safe box, all the precious memories, and that go in there.
Michelle's finally clearing her hoard with a little bit of expert help, while husband Andrew takes a back seat.
It's hard for me because I don't want to hurt her by, telling her to throw away things that she's emotionally attached to. But I don't want to bring on unnecessary conflict.
Having addressed issues in her past, Michelle's finally moving towards a hoard-free future. She's even agreed that Zoe and Alison can destroy some of the old hutches in the garden.
Listen to that noise.
The declutter is the first step on Michelle's road to recovery.
That's a good feeling. Just feel lighter. Can't believe we filled a skip.
But the moment is short-lived. Baby Luana is rapidly deteriorating.
Poor little thing. Oh, I can't cope. But in a way, my circumstances are making me give my animals up, not just because of hoarding, but because we can't afford to feed them. And I'm angry that it's come to this. I'm angry with myself, but I love them so much.
Michelle has hit rock bottom.
The animals are like her family, they're like her flesh and blood.
They are like her babies, and obviously parting with things that haven't got beating hearts, so to speak. It's so much easier for her to let it go, but when it comes to the animals, that would be completely different, and I really, really hope that Stelios can really help her, because it would be really hard.
She got to breathe.
A few hours later, Michelle returns from the vet's. Sadly, Luana had to be put to sleep.
Rob didn't think there was any
She couldn't breathe, Andrew.
It's a traumatic event that could jeopardise Michelle's ability to continue with her declutter. Michelle takes some time to reflect, but resolves to carry on.
I think it's going to affect me very much to let them go. But if it's the difference between keeping the house and saving our marriage, then I've got to get my priorities right.
Now the moment Michelle has been dreading has arrived. Homes have been found for as many animals as she can bear to part with. Stelios has returned to help support Michelle. He recognises that she's about to face her biggest challenge so far.
The first one is Casper. Should we do Casper? Yeah.
But even he doesn't know how many of her 30 remaining rabbits or 5 guinea pigs she'll be able to let go.
Here he is, my little boy.
Michelle starts with the rabbits she's had for the least time.
Oh, look at that, baby. Go, sweetheart. Whee!
But as she moves on to the older rabbits, she finds each one harder to part with.
That's Jacob, that's Helston. Okay. Where's Luna Tuna? Let me say goodbye to Luna.
It's very difficult for her, really. You can see the attachment, you can see the emotions, you can see, it's like a human being.
Hi, Gracie.
You're doing well.
Here you go, sweetie.
By the time she's finished, Michelle's done better than anyone could have hoped. 28 rabbits and all 5 guinea pigs have gone.
We are all hoarders. We all have the ability to hoard things. It's the compulsion that's a problem. The compulsiveness to rescue every animal, the compulsiveness to have every item in your house. There's nothing wrong with having pets and there's nothing wrong with having items. It's the compulsion and the excessiveness that's a problem.
When we started, I actually had 40 animals. We've now got 7, and that's 2 dogs, a cat, 2 chickens, and 2 rabbits.
I definitely didn't think Michelle would be able to let go of as many rabbits as she did. I'm hugely proud and very grateful for what she's managed to achieve.
6 weeks ago, Michelle and Andrew were forced to eat all their meals in the bedroom. But now they've got their dining table back.
Come on in.
Look at this. And I can walk around the table.
I know.
I mean, you couldn't see this before.
No,
well, I
I
couldn't
know.
see it before. Not all of it.
And the lounge that once filled Michelle with fear is now a welcoming space where she and Andrew can sit and relax.
I'm speechless.
Is it the same room?
I can't believe this. Wow. One of the most important things to realise today is how it has helped her to let go. Although we've witnessed today the physical letting go, she first initiated it and first did it in her mind. Well done.
Thank you, Stelios.
Really, really good.
Thank you for being here. 6 weeks ago, I couldn't have parted with 1 rabbit or thrown away a piece of paper. And now I'm sitting in my lounge and I've just given 90% of my animals to a better home. I feel a better person. I feel empowered. I feel a lot stronger. I feel more independent, more in control. It's just like a whole new beginning. I feel 10 years younger. I probably don't look it.
A few weeks later, Michelle and Andrew are both beginning to see the benefits of having reclaimed their living space.
It's been quite a number of years since we've sat down together at the dining table. I don't know, 6, 7 years, something like that. To actually be able to sit together, talk to each other, just enjoy each other's company. And you don't know how good that feels, actually, after all this time.
It's nice, isn't it?
It's lovely.
I miss the animals, I really do. But, you know, it really did overtake our lives, so the benefits are huge, actually. I'm in touch with myself now in a different place. Some days are good, some days are bad. You've just got to want it that badly that you can move forward. I just feel so relaxed and happy. It's a different feeling, isn't it, to have this space and just be able to look at each other, really.
No, she's much improved emotionally. She's put her mind to it and she'll carry on. I know she will. I can't explain how proud I am of her. My heart is bursting. That's really all I can say. It is, yeah. And have I told her? Probably not enough.